And welcome back to another episode of Loss of Down, brought to you by Abby Turner Creative, your one-stop shop marketing agency specializing in branding, high-end photography, and more, especially if you're our age where it feels like there's a wedding, college graduation, engagements, you name it. They're happening every weekend. Abby Turner Creative is the only way to go. Check it out for yourself at Abby Turner Photo. That's Abbey, or on her Instagram at Sawdad and Sapphire. Again, AbbyTurnerPhoto.com. Boys, it's been too long. NFL is right around the corner. We were just talking, it's damn near like a month and a half since all three of us are back. But boys, moving forward, we're in season. How the hell are you?
Doing well. This is, it feels like the end of summer break, where now we're almost getting in 2 days and working up for our own regular season. So I'm really excited that three of us are back together. We probably only have a few weeks of doing one shows a week until we're back to two. Yeah, so enjoy this little break from us as you can, because before long you're going to be getting 2 hour-and-a-half long pods a week. So David, Steven, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty great. I'm coming off a week vacation in Kiowa, South Carolina, where it was sunny and hot as hell, and I feel great.
You look great, too. He was sending me photos where it was basically the Italian dawn, where David, by the way, people that haven't seen this man without his shirt on, I'm lucky enough to say I have. This man has a sweater. This guy is a bear. So I'm seeing him. He sends me a picture of this like button down that comes down like right above the belly button. Just hair exposed, the plumage. I was sitting there, I'm like, whoa. I don't think I'm bi, but maybe we could try it out.
Yeah, David, why don't you try to say something for the rest of us over there, bub? But he was down in South Carolina. You have to, because I know he was still sweating his ass off. No shirt, half a shirt. It was probably hot. No, I'm jealous. I need to get down to the beach. Did you get some golf in? I can't remember. I know I was grilling you about it the whole time.
No, when I was preparing to go, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bring my clubs because I'll golf once and then it'll be a waste of space in the car and it just won't be worth it. Like if I go golfing, I'll rent clubs. And then the entire time I was down there, I was like, I should have just booked a golf tee time at least 3 or 4 days this week, and I just didn't. But it's such a great place to golf that as we got down there and I was, passing all these courses, I'm like, God damn it! Like I really should have just done this and not chickened out.
Hindsight's 20/20.
I was going to say, this time of year, I've golfed in North Carolina in the winter, which was beautiful. It's a little tough. But this time of year, I got to imagine that getting a tee time down there is next to impossible. It's got to be a work, right?
On some of those courses, it's impossible from 7 a.m. until 11 a.m. And then once you hit the 95,
the not golf
high
hours,
humid, the not golf hours, then you could get on a course almost any time, provided it's not a public course that everyone has access to. That
the poors, me and Steven, gotcha.
Like a municipal course. No, provided it's not a muni course, you probably get on just about anywhere that's a public course.
Hey, nothing wrong with muni. I've made my living off muni courses.
Hell yeah, dude.
I've never golfed on a muni course in my entire life.
That makes David.
Sense. I'm David. I'm from
not intentional.
I'm from what Stowe, Hudson area.
Yeah, there's no muni courses anywhere where I.
I know. There's no good golf course.
The closest muni course is right outside downtown Cleveland.
The only muni I know is the muni lot on Sundays, brother.
Okay, that's fair though. The muni lot's no joke. People that tailgate Cleveland, I mean that's a real one. That's a real
degeneracy at its finest.
Yeah, I was toasty by 10:30, 11. Though I think I've only gone maybe once or twice. Kylie's mom had taken us because we had a Sunday fun day and had the Monday off, and it was dangerous.
Those psychopaths used to line up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
They still do, David.
Yeah, but it depends on the game.
It doesn't.
5 o'clock, but
there's expectations now. It's probably 2:30, 2 o'clock that they're starting to line up.
That's fair. My favorite is there's a guy with a Browns RV.
Yep.
And I'm
that's who I was with.
That's what you camp. That's who you camp out at 3 a.m. with because there's a bed in there.
Yeah.
There was a game, it's got to have been 8 years ago. Brian Hoyer and the Browns were 6-2 or something like that, maybe 5-2. And the Raiders came into town. They were 0-6, 0-7, which is, custom. And I was blown away because, first of all, this game kicked off at 4:30. So the Muni lot opened at 6 or 6:30, something like that. And we got there. I'm like, dude, we're going to just tear this place down. We're getting there at like 6 in the morning, 30 minutes before. I was waiting up on like that street with the 9 on it, trying to get onto the highway to get in line for the Muni lot. It is different. I'm telling you, Cleveland tailgating, as far as NFL goes, it's got to be top 5. It's got probably top 3. The only one I know definitively is ahead is Stevens Green Bay Packers. It is ridiculous.
Green Bay is the only one where I know for a fact they're probably number 1.
For all the different reasons, too.
I've never gone.
Yeah.
I've never gone. I just know from the hearsay, from like the word of mouth, it is probably number 1.
Well, dude, back when I lived in Wisconsin, I was underage at that point, but there's a law in Wisconsin where if you are with your parents and they're okay with you drinking, you are okay to drink. So when I'm with my dad for a Bengals, it's so Wisconsin, but we're with my dad and brother for a Bengals game at Green Bay. So I'm there rooting for the Bengals like my brother and my dad are fans of. And I'm probably 16 at this point. We're walking through the tailgate, and we have Packer fans, knowing that we're rooting for the Bengals. Hey, come have a beer. And I'm like, I can't. I'm 16. I'm not allowed. Who gives a shit? If your parents are okay with it, come on and drink. Greatest people in the world. Great tailgating. Truly Midwest nice.
Oh, and I mean, the first time my first experience with Lambeau was going up for a Bears game. Bears Green Bay opening night back in 2019, 2018. It was the Khalil Mack game. Regardless, I drove from the hotel to Lambeau Field with Packers fans. With Bears fans, excuse me. I'm walking around and there's Bears fans and Packers fans just talking, just yucking it up. I got both Bears and Packers fans offering me beer, offering me food. It is the wildest environment that you've ever been in. But like I was saying, like, Cleveland's not that far off, but like it's a totally different experience that you're going to get. You will get the shit knocked out of you.
Those Browns fans will threaten to kill you. Yes.
Browns fan or not, you will get into a fight with another Browns fan.
Yes, exactly. And in Green Bay,
it's like a curd off.
They'll lose. Yeah, they can lose to you, and they're just like, you bastards, we'll get you next time. You want a beer and cheese curds? Come on over to us.
Hell of a game. Here's
nice.
Here's your going away gift. Nice. Like you're just leaving a sleepover. Oh, don't forget your party to go bag.
So I have a quick little story for you guys before we can really get going.
Yes.
Get back to normal.
This is how it's going to get going.
We're all excited. So, my brother is getting married this next weekend. So shout out to my brother. Congratulations ahead of time. His bride-to-be was bringing over her wedding dress to my mom with her mother, with her maid of honor, and with her maid of honor's boyfriend. I didn't want to have to meet people at this point. So I'm like, it's already good. I'm going to go out and make money. I'm going to DoorDash. Here's the kicker. The day before, so this is last Friday, it was like 92, 93 here in Pittsburgh. I go for walks 3 or 4 times a week for an hour or so because I'm trying to make my cute little figure better for this wedding I just mentioned. And I'm sweating my ass off. Sweating, we're talking about belly buttons. Sweat all the way down to my belly button. I'm working my ass off. I feel great. All of a sudden, on my walk back, an hour and a half in, my palms that have been sweating for the last hour are bone dry. And I'm like, okay, that ain't good. That ain't good. My brother's had heat stroke when he was in the Marines. Sounds like that. So I rushed back home. Not like I had heat stroke. That ain't happening. But I rushed home, worried, pounding a bunch of water, pickle juice, whatever. Felt just sick.
God, pickle juice makes me sick.
It was rough. Yeah. Naturally, I literally couldn't eat the rest of the day. Appetite was ruined. Sun poison, whatever it was, killed me. But I was feeling the effects this next day. So I go out dashing while my brother's bride-to-be, her mom, maid of honor, and boyfriend come over. I've only met 2 of those 4. I just finished a dash. and I have a coughing fit. So no big deal usually, but my diet has been water and pickles for 24 hours. All of a sudden, this coughing fit goes out of control, and Wally has to kick up and, wait a minute, I just shit my pants. I shit my pants, and it was 30 minutes after they got there. So I have that brutal task of calling my mother and being like, hey, Mom, I told you heard about what happened yesterday. You know how brutal it was. So here's the deal. And I tell her, and the bride is in the room getting dressed up, all that. So I get back, and I have to meet these two people I've never met before in my life. And I'm doing the whole crab walk, ass tensed as tight as could be, tight as tight can be. And I'm doing the walk in, like penguin walk. And just immediately, hi guys, I'll be back. I got to shower.
Oh my God.
Don't say anything else. Go up and shower. Takes 30 minutes because naturally I got to make sure I'm clean. I go back downstairs and there's nothing for me to do other than just be honest. So I literally have to walk down. First time I'm meeting these people, sorry about that. I shit my pants.
No, you did not.
Why? Why did you have to be honest?
Oh, you're one of those.
It's who I am.
Okay.
So
You did not have to.
No,
be
I
honest
did not.
at
here's
all.
the best part. We have a new listener out there, and it's one of the guys, like the boyfriend of the maid of honor. I told them, and they just go, don't worry about it, man. I've been there before. I'm like, I fucking love this
Okay,
guy.
maybe I should have.
am.
Yeah. Imagine if you didn't shit your pants, you never would have met him until the night of the wedding.
Exactly. And I would have been miserable the whole time. Be like, this guy doesn't know me. Instead, I have a brethren out there who, by the way, he's wearing a 1999 St. Louis Rams greatest show on turf hat
Sick.
because the guy's from St. Louis. And he's rooting, obviously, I guess good for him. He's a Rams fan. It just sucks that they're on
There
St.
is
Louis
one.
for him.
Not LA.
Yeah.
Not,
There is one that's
not
stuck
LA.
around. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a St. Louis, LA Rams fan. So shout out to this Tyler. But guys, so yeah, I literally shit my pants and had to kind of like meet someone in the process of that. And I just had to share that with you because I'm not going to lie, that has been on my mind as I think it would be on anybody's for the last like 48 hours.
All right. Well, the clock restarts at 0. The amount of
Yes.
days since last LOD host
It's been
shit
2 days
themselves.
since I've shit myself.
2 days.
Yes.
We're on a hot streak right now. Okay. I mean, you'll get back to that streak you once were, Wally, but day by day, right? You got to just string a couple together. You're at 2 days.
I mean,
focus on 3.
I made it like 13 straight days, so this is crazy.
Just go 1-0 each day, Wally. That's the only thing that you need to focus on.
Go 1-0 each day. I love it.
Let's get a little bit of NFL news. Finally, it's that time of the year. We had a contract deadline for those that are on the. Dude, why am I blanking on this?
Franchise
Jesus
tag, you
Christ.
got it.
My God, it's not like football's right around the corner. I should have known this. We had some contracts come up. We had maybe not contracts coming up. First one on the board here. We have the man Quinnen Williams inking a 4-year deal, $96 million extension to stay with the New York Jets. This is him coming off his best year. I think it's deserved. He's now going to be the highest paid player in Jets history, second highest paid D tackle behind Aaron Donald. But he also gets more guaranteed money at 65 mil. I want to say is what Quinnen Williams ended up
I
getting.
think it's 66,
Yeah.
but it's right there.
Like I said, just the one. Oh, I was talking about Aaron Donald. My bad. But no, I got to watch him firsthand dismantle the Packers, amongst other people here this past year. For him to take this long to get the contract was wild. I don't even want to take too much. I feel like David is just trying to hide a boner in gym shorts right now because one of the boys in the trenches got paid. David, I want to toss it to you here, brother. What did you think about this Quinnen Williams contract and him staying long term in New York now?
Love the move for both parties. I think he's the 4th highest graded tackle or interior defensive lineman according to PFF, behind Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, and Dexter Lawrence. He's worth the money. He's a great player. He's going to keep the Jets D-line formidable for the next, I think, 5 years technically. Yep. And, just an all-around great signing for the Jets. I'm betting that he's probably a first-time All-Pro this year. just given that they bolstered the offense, which means keeping the defense off the field more, and then kind of expecting some growth in the younger defensive talent on that roster, and just his ability to disrupt, right? Like I'm kind of expecting an All-Pro season from him, and I think it's his first one if it were to happen.
He actually just won one this
good.
year, so I thought that's what you meant. He could go for a repeat.
Well, that's what I'm betting on. I thought it would have been his first, but if he just got one, it's for I would definitely raise the bets for that happening again.
I don't blame you for thinking that. We just saw Jeffrey Simmons sign his extension, and he's another guy that you would have thought of as an All-Pro candidate there. But here's the thing that makes this so exciting for me, is that this is a Jets team now that, outside of pass rusher, you have two of the best players in football at the most important positions defensively. You brought in Sauce Gardner, who I can't remember the last time we've seen a rookie cornerback have a year that he did. And then you factor in Quinnen Williams, had the biggest jump we've seen at a defensive tackle position in a long time. He went from being very good to unguardable. And this team now, what's its weakness? Maybe linebacker, I guess you can argue. Offensive line, people are worried about Mekhi Becton a little bit still. If Aaron Rodgers can be Aaron Rodgers of 2021 and before, I'm starting to at least feel that it's possible that the Jets could come out of a AFC that it's the best conference we've seen in our life. But there's a chance, albeit probably 10% or lower, there is a chance the Jets come out of the AFC.
And Wally, to your point here, I mean, here's the jump that Quinnen Williams made this year. He's coming off a year with 12 sacks where he combined for 15.5 in the first 3 years of his career. A 7.4% pressure rate coming off a 4.8 average over those first 3 years. Pressure's up from 1.2 to 1.7, and he had the same amount of forced fumbles this year as the previous 3 years combined. I mean, talk about taking a huge, huge leap. And he was doing it against good teams and good offensive lines. And I think, and I was kind of on with David, I didn't think he got the All-Pro just because I remembered how disrespected that dude was all year, that I forgot that he actually got the All-Pro honors. But now everyone's going to remember the name. He's going to cause a lot of mayhem in the front of that line. Jets.
You guys are in my head now. Now, like, am I crazy? I thought for sure that he was an All-Pro, but now I'm starting to wonder. All right, I'm double checking right now.
All I remember is PFF giving him like a 63.5 after the Green Bay game, and I was like, that dude, like, he put everything in a category, like every single stat.
He was first team All-Pro.
Okay, and Jeffrey Simmons was second team. So there you go.
Jeffrey Simmons was first team All-Pro. So was Chris Jones and Aaron Donald, second team. No. The fuck?
Walk me through this.
Sorry. Jeffrey Simmons was second team with Dexter Lawrence. Chris Jones, Quinnen, and Aaron Donald, it looks like, were first team. Is that possible?
Explain this to me. This is how brutal Wikipedia. I was going to say, explain this to how brutal Wikipedia is.
Oh, no, it's the different fucking...
Like the different voters?
Yeah.
Like who decided that they were All-Pro?
The AP All-Pro was Chris Jones and Quinnen Williams.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Yeah, because I see that Jeffrey Simmons and Aaron Donald, TSN, Canada, baby. It's basically Canada Sports Center. Well, what the hell was that for? You can't be taking shots
they have nothing,
the neighbors
they
to
have
the
nothing
north.
to do with the NFL. Well,
actually, you know what? I'm fine blaming them. We have the smoke back here for like
it's been brutal today.
Oh my god, man.
It's been brutal.
Yeah, you know what? That's fine. We're on
Canada.
that.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I usually am on Team Canada. They're in timeout for me. I'm a little upset. Steven, you could go ahead. Throw us away.
Suffering. They did nothing to deserve this. DeAndre Hopkins.
I mean, Wally's off the train of
DeAndre Hopkins signs a 2-year. DeAndre Hopkins signs a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. This is after it seems like a battle between Tennessee and New England. Maybe the Bills and Chiefs kind of came in last second if they were able to give him a 1-year incentive-laden contract. He ends up right in Nashville. He's going back to the AFC South and linking up with Mike Vrabel, who was at one point one of his coaches there in Houston. Wally, I'll toss it to you. What are your thoughts about DHOP ultimately landing in Tennessee almost contradicting everything that he was looking for in a team prior to signing.
I would say my thoughts are good for DeAndre Hopkins because he chose to get paid more over a championship, and I'm never going to be somebody that's going to knock someone for that. We're seeing right now with the running backs not getting paid, it's a shelf life world in the NFL, and winning Super Bowls are great, but in 20 years, when your body's really like feeling the effects, are you going to be happy with that decision to get a championship ring, or do you want the money? So each player, it's different. DeAndre Hopkins decided that he wanted to go for the bag, and I will not judge him. But he did say that he will retire when he's no longer a 1,000-yard wide receiver. If that's the case, well then Tennessee's his last stop. This is his final contract. Tannehill, I wouldn't be shocked if he's even moved before the trade deadline. And if that happens, I mean, dude, DeAndre Hopkins is done. He's going to have Malik Willis or Will Levis throwing him the ball. And unless Will Levis is what some people like Mel Kiper want him to be, it ain't going to happen. I'm done. What I'd like to know from one of you guys is, are you really going to tell me that the Bills and Chiefs, neither one of them, in monopoly fake money world of the NFL today, nobody could find a way to get this man a $10, $12 million deal for even 1 year?
I'm surprised the Bills couldn't with the little drama they had with Stephon Diggs. They want to, you've seen the ups and downs of what the Bills offense can look like with Stephon Diggs in there. You got to add somebody else. Yeah, Gabe Davis is there. He's going to be kind of hit or miss. Dawson Knox seems to really start coming on stronger at the end of the year once he got over that injury. You're adding Dalton Kincaid. It made sense for the Bills, but at the same time, it is not what they needed because they have some other things to focus on. But make your strongest suit so strong that no one can touch you. And if you want to get that offense firing, add a DHOP, with Stephon Diggs, that'd be a good little matchup.
I mean, it would be nasty. The Bills would be nasty if they had. You throw Hopkins in there.
I mean, tell me you're not trying to beat the Jets if you get D-Hop. Cool, Sauce Gardner, pick who you want to guard because we're just gonna try to attack on the other side of the field now.
So to that point, I don't think good teams want to pay D-Hop money because I think everyone saw the Odell Beckham Jr. story and don't want to be a part of an aging veteran earning.
So do you think that they think he's regressing, or do you think that they're betting on history of other wide receivers at this point?
Betting on history of other wide receivers?
Okay.
I mean, here's my problem. I don't think I would want to pay D-Hop $13 million a year to play for anyone. Like I'm shocked by it because, like, as you mentioned, it's he wants a good team, wants to win it all, doesn't want to be, I don't know, like he wants the Super Bowl contender, but then he takes the team who pays him the most money and has almost no chance of winning their own division, let alone making the AFC playoffs. It's a soft move from Hopkins for me, but then again, I'd probably do the same thing in his shoes because, money talks. I'm just disappointed that talent is wasted on bad teams. So, I'm not saying Tennessee doesn't have talent, but they're not in the AFC. They're not it. They're not making the playoffs unless they win the division, and that'll be, in my opinion, alarming.
Man, just imagine if they re-signed A.J. Brown.
Well, yeah, but I get everybody saying that. What people are failing to mention, though, is that this is a new regime. You can't correct what the old regime did, so all you can do is do the best you can at the moment. It's just, this is a Tennessee team, in my opinion, that should be tanking to try to get a Caleb Williams or to get a Drake May, and instead, this is kind of a Raiders feeling attempt of, well, we're going to try to win our division, but, not really try to win our division. Because, I mean, how many teams would you put? I think we're all three in agreeing that we'd put the Jaguars ahead of the Titans right now. Okay. Now, how about, where do you see this team finishing in the AFC South? Because I think I could see either Indy or Houston finishing above this Tennessee team, even with D-Hop.
I think that they're going to be battling for the second. But the thing is, and we fail to remember every year, is like, don't count Mike Vrabel out. He is, over last year, or 2 years ago, he led a Tennessee team that was dead in the water without Derrick Henry to the number 1 seed in the AFC. Right? Yeah, they took a little downfall.
Yeah, he's a hell of a coach.
You get rid of A.J. Brown. You got Derrick Henry. Now you're going to have D-Hop. We know what the year was like last year, where they were seemingly competitive, then they just fell off the face of the earth towards like the back half of the season, because they had the lead in there for a while in that division, and then Jacksonville got hot while Tennessee was getting cold, and that's always just a recipe for disaster on their end. But I just don't count Mike Vrabel out, which leads me to my fun fact. Up until before DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Titans, Mike Vrabel has the most career touchdown receptions on the Tennessee roster, even as a head coach. I'm just saying. That's wild.
It's crazy. I saw this stat right before we started recording. I'm amazed that in his whole career, Derrick Henry hasn't had more reception touchdowns. I know that he's not like the way you think of, but like even last year, I think that he had like a 70-yard screen pass.
No, he didn't. It was a 75-yard, and he fumbled it on like the 6. I remember watching it because I had a Derrick Henry live touchdown bet, and he fumbled it right there in front of me.
Didn't he fumble it and then like Traylon Burks picked it up?
Yes.
And,
yep.
like,
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. But like
it's there
just
though.
crazy.
It's there.
That's a alarming stat. Yeah, an alarming stat. But I don't know. I just it felt like a move that didn't make sense from Tennessee's angle.
Either
and
angle.
I just felt like he could have got a very similar deal with a team that could win more than 5 or 6 games this year.
Well, and then that just makes me wonder, because I thought you would be leaning towards New England. There's a lot of things coming out about maybe Bill Belichick. This is going to be his last year, not by his choice, maybe by the front office. Maybe D-Hop's picking up on that and a little bit of unclarity around what is going to be up in New England. But you can't tell me that there weren't more teams that were intriguing to you than the Tennessee Titans. Like, come on. At this point, I think I'd rather him sign with the Falcons than Tennessee.
So this spins off for 2 seconds, but I just have to get an initial thought. Bill Belichick coaches the Patriots to an 8-9 record. He gets fired. The Cleveland Browns go 7-10.
Reunion.
And Kevin Stefanski gets fired. I'm just saying.
Stars align.
Would it not be an awesome full circle moment if Bill Belichick was the Cleveland Browns head coach in 2024?
That'd be amazing.
I'm just saying. But that's all I got.
I don't think Bill Belichick's getting fired.
I don't think so either.
I think Robert Kraft would walk in that room and be like, look, it's not happening. Like, you can either choose to retire or I'm going to fire you. And I think Bill Belichick would just retire.
I think he'd be like,
I don't think so.
I'm
I think he's like a Bill Parcells who's addicted to coaching.
Yeah, he is. And not only that, he's addicted to winning while coaching. I mean, 7 Super Bowls, 8 Super Bowls for him? Like, come on.
With that being said, we want to remind you that NFL News was brought to you by Abby Turner Creative, your one-stop shop marketing agency specializing in branding, high-end photography, fashion, and more, especially if you're around our age where there's college graduations, engagements, weddings, baby pictures, you name it. Feels like they're happening every weekend. Abby Turner Creative is the only way to go. Check her out for yourself on abbyturnerphoto.com. That's Abby, A-B-B-E-Y, or on her Instagram page at SawDadInSapphire. Again, abbyturnerphoto.com. Did somebody hear that? Steven, do you hear that?
Yeah, it's kind of fuck going into our first story, but I hear it.
Well, yeah, actually, that is tough. All right, it's quiet. It's a quiet one. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. In hindsight, this is my fault for putting this one here. You know what? I'm gonna come back to this one after. We're gonna go with the fun one first. Saints tight end Foster Moreau. He is in full remission. Amazing news. Former Raider, Derek Carr's buddy. They're playing in New Orleans. Is there anything that we can say other than congratulations, Foster? and we hope he dominates it with the Saints this year.
Hope he dominates. Hope he has to never have to worry about this again. Hope he gets another contract because the kid is young. But yeah, like you said, I can't imagine him going anywhere else. Talk about a community and a football team that embraces their players, especially in New Orleans right down there. I think it's awesome. He couldn't have gone to a better place, and congrats to him for being in remission.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, nothing else to say other than it's awesome news, and I hope he makes it back stronger than ever.
And this is the Abby Turner photo presented show, so it's just even extra fitting that we come out of the ad and we go to a cancer remission, which is awesome news, as we know Abby also has beaten cancer because she's a fucking badass.
Dog.
She is a dog. She got that dog in her. Unfortunately, former NFL quarterback and Arkansas Razorback quarterback Ryan Mallett tragically passed away at 35 a few weeks ago. I wanted to put this on here just because I feel like we all remember him at the Arkansas days and like the hype of him going into the NFL. But it sounds like the dude was an awesome person on top of that. He was a coach, and the kids are obviously going to be devastated. It's just, I mean, that was one of those Arkansas teams while he was there that really brought a lot of young kids into college football and loving football in general. So I just felt like we needed to put him on here. So rest in peace, Ryan Mallett. We will obviously all miss you in the football community.
And this has been going on for, I feel like, the last few weeks, few months. If you guys are in Florida, if you guys are near that coast, be careful. Like, if you always can think that it can never happen to you. This has happened to a veteran of the NFL. This is a big dude. This is someone who's strong, right? We saw Peyton Hillis have to go through it not too long ago by saving his kids.
And they were teammates. How crazy was that? I thought about that.
That is true. That is true. So just always be careful when you those rip currents do not mess around. And obviously,
it wasn't a rip current. Did you see that?
No, what was it?
No, that was like
it?
False reporting. It was literally just like swimming a distance from a sandbar to like the actual like land. There was no rip current.
So what, did he just get exhausted and they think that
I guess, or
damn.
I don't, like, I was reading that today and it was like the actual like sheriff's station or whatever reported that like there were no rip currents at that hour in that area.
All right, Trust Tree, what is a rip current?
All right, so basically, I don't know.
I
don't know
no
why
idea.
it happens, but
I can't break it down, but I'll be like, that's a rip current.
I don't know why it happens, but so did you ever go to the beach as a kid and like you'd get in and you'd start drifting just a little bit to like the right or left, and your parents would yell at you to come back straight? So picture that times 10, where you're literally like you get in and the current is so strong that you can't swim out of it, like you can't swim against it. It is literally pushing you. Typically they push out towards the ocean, which is why to get out of one they say literally let it carry you until it ends and then swim sideways and swim back. Or if you're young and you've got the energy, you can try and swim sideways, because the rip current is like, it is literally like it's a small area.
It's like a jet stream.
It's not like a mile wide. It is literally just narrow and long. And so, what's interesting is when on my first day at the beach in South Carolina, there was what I would consider a weak rip current going sideways down the beach. So like my legs were sore from fighting the current to stay like in front of the area. And like my girlfriend and her son, like my girlfriend probably could have fought it but didn't, but like her son doesn't have the strength to fight that. And like my legs were literally sore from like I am 300 pounds. I planted my feet and I was still like fighting a current, and it was like waist deep water. So like picture that going out but in like shoulder deep water, and that would be like a rip current.
No.
Jeez, yeah. Not to make light of that, I just had literally never heard, or like I didn't know what it was, but I've heard rip currents and like
it's one of the big reasons I'm a team lake over team beach.
Oh, hell
the
yeah.
ocean scares the shit out of me. I don't get in past like waist deep. Waist deep's as far as I go.
Well, I'm sure you guys saw in the last month that Egyptian shark attack video, whether it was against your will or not, online. That was like No, you
I
haven't.
don't know
All
if I
right.
saw it.
Never mind.
Send it
Yeah.
to me. Send it to me.
I
don't
will
want
be
you-
watching this.
I was going to say, you don't want to see it. You literally watch a guy get eaten by a shark.
Okay, why is it not on my screen already? Let's wrap it up here. Let's get some get some awesome news here. Finally, the Buccaneers are whipping back out the creamsicles. They're legendary. It's like 80s and 90s unis that they've had here. It's about time they bring these back. You have to make something entertaining in the season that Tampa Bay is going to have because they're going to be bad. The only crime here is that they didn't bring these back a year or 2 years earlier when they had Tom and Gronk. Crime.
I think that there were rumors a few years ago that Tom hates these jerseys so much. He's the reason why we didn't have them until now.
What a nerd.
Tommy Terrific isn't that terrific is what we found out. Because these are a top 5 jersey of all time. Like, when I think of NFL best jerseys ever, I think of the Creamsicle. I think of the Houston Oilers. I think
Kelly
of the
Greens.
Chargers, the Kelly Greens, Raiders. Like, I know I'm biased, but like there are the ones that are tier 1. This is a tier 1 jersey.
But, I agree. The jerseys are fantastic, but they need to bring back the white jersey home versions that had, like, the creamsicle helmet, I think is what they had. And, like, the white alternative.
Wait. Are they not bringing back the pirate, like, Buccaneer pirate helmet?
No, they are, but what he's saying is they have, like those all whites like we saw in the Browns earlier today. It's like that, but all, like, the creamsicle colors in the jersey, or, like, in the numbers.
Accents.
And then
and
the creamsicle hat.
Wait, so these aren't like 100% the old school uniforms?
No, they're like the away. I think what would be considered the away uniforms are like the creamsicles, and then like the white. They have like a white version that is like a white jersey with the creamsicle accents and creamsicle helmet that I think looks hyper clean, and I think is like just as cool.
If they did like one road, one home, wouldn't that be perfect? All right, he's sharing.
Those right
I'll put
there.
this up here if people are watching on YouTube.
Yeah, those.
Okay, those are hot.
These are crispy.
That's what I think they should also bring back. Like that.
Those are hot.
To me, is I want to see.
Those are better than the home jerseys.
Like
they're better than the home jerseys.
Oh
right,
yeah.
Retracted. The roads are better than the homes. Retracted.
There we go. I like to hear that. They're back, baby.
That's all that matters. Somehow, some way, Joe Mixon is also back, baby. He is a Cincinnati Bengal yet again. He is taking a over $4.5 million discount both this year and the next year. So his cap hit's going to be closer to 7. Am I the only one understanding that this is a discount that feels like this is one of the few front office blunders that the Bengals have had in the last couple of years? I feel like it's really easy to replace running backs nowadays, and they just didn't put any time or effort at all into doing that. They draft a 5th-round running back from Illinois, Chase Brown, who was really good at Illinois, by the way.
He drafted in my rookie draft. Shout out you.
Yeah, hell yeah, I told you to. And I really like him. But you let Samaje Perine walk, who looks like he had a lot more tread on the tires than Joe Mixon does, and you don't really... I just feel like this backfield is weaker now than it was last year for a team that's trying to take a shot in the deepest conference possibly in football history. It just feels like a little bit of a miss from the Bengals front office.
100% agreed. I can't believe he's back in Cincy, even on a restructure. Yeah. Like, he's not even a productive, efficient running back anymore. He's...
Well, and everything that happened this offseason.
Right, like, on top of that, I just, like, and I have it in the rundown, but I guess it's, like, the devil you know, maybe. Like, we know what we're going to get out of him, and, we're going to run it back, but at the same time, I'll hammer it for the rest of time. You can replace him, which they probably will, with a 5th-round running back. Like, you can replace his productivity with a low-round running back or a high-round running back.
Well, you know who's happy about this? Joe Mixon, because his ass is on the chopping block. You get to keep your job. You have your legal troubles. The market of running backs right now, and you still get to keep your job and a paycheck. Yeah, like Wally said, he goes from a $9.4 million non-guaranteed contract, which was just under $13 million cap hit, and now he's at he's right around 5.5. Can go up $2 more million with incentives. I mean, this is a win for Joe Mixon considering the situation, and I don't want to beat Wally's drum too much, but you let Samaje Perine go. All you had to do was cut Joe Mixon, watch him not get picked up. Samaje Perine, who was a year, maybe a year older, maybe a year younger, I can't even remember. And you saw the impact that Samaje Perine had in his small, in the small amount that he had.
He was better than Joe Mixon last year.
Facts. And like Joe Mixon, yeah, he had 800 yards, and David, you have to know this. What was his yards per carry? Like he had some of the worst. If it was like 2.9, 3.1. Yes. So yeah, good job. He got 890 yards.
I think he averaged 3.9 for the season, but he had like an end of season like ramp up.
No, I remember us talking about it. Like when you got like the PFF grades, it's like
just like 2.7 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he's not effective anymore. They've used him up. Should have cut him. Kept Samaje Perine, but whatever. I'm all about my boy, 5th round Brown, just going out.
So we're gonna join these last two together here because it goes well with Joe Mixon because the franchise tag extension deadline was today.
Thank you, Wally.
Of course.
I needed that at the beginning.
I got you. And the Jags agree with tight end Evan Engram with the deal, an extension, a 3-year, $41 million deal. However, the 3 running back tags, none of them were extended. Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard all are going to have to play on the tag if, and I mean if, they're going to play this year. So I know that's 4 different players, but what are your guys' kind of thoughts real quick?
I'm a sucker for Evan Engram. He helped me win my first fantasy championship way back when, so I've always been big on him, but I've always liked him, and he just played in New York. He was injury-ridden, but only the second time that he's played in all the games in his career. Career high in yards, receptions, as well as catch percentage. Second best touchdown total, which is only 4, but that's second to his 6 that he had, I want to say, his rookie year. So not only that, the Jags now keep their top 3 receivers, adding Calvin Ridley. That's going to be wild. For the running backs, it's just a bad time to be a running back right now. Not only are these players going to be forced to play on the franchise tag if they do end up playing, but now they're not going to have any commitment from a team if they do get injured. Pollard's coming off an injury already. Saquon is so injury prone, but coming off his best year. And then Josh Jacobs is coming off the best running back of the NFL year. So if you're going to pay one guy, let's suck it up and pay it for Josh Jacobs, but you're not paying any of these. I mean, it is so bad. It is so bad to be a running back, and I feel so much for these dudes.
It's not fair, but what it is it's smart. Like David and I feel like have been back to back doing like that action skit where you have double barrel and you're like shooting in like a 180 degree, just being like for like 10 years, running backs don't matter. Like I have Josh Jacobs. I love Josh Jacobs. If he sits out this year in protest, I give it all the power to him. I hope he gets paid. But it's not going to hurt my feelings because I think the Raiders made the right move. You can't, like, I'm fine franchising these guys, but you don't sign them. What the Browns did with Nick Chubb is one of those rare things. Yeah, it's one of the rare times because it was a discounted deal that you can kind of, like, justify it. But don't do it. We've seen it time and time again now. If you want to win a world championship, a Super Bowl, you don't win with paid running backs or with first-round running backs. They won this last year with a 7th. What'd you say?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Exactly. They won this last year. I wasn't even mentioning him. Like they won with a 7th-round running back, and not only did they do that, they did not have a 1,000-yard receiver. You don't do that. You don't need it nowadays. It's frustrating because I feel for these guys, but you can't pay running backs. Plain and simple. Whatever.
And that's going to... David, you hopping in?
Nope.
You're good, Steven. You can do that.
And that's going to bring us to an end of another episode of Loss of Down. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Loss of Down, and retweet us on Twitter, _loss. Remember, this episode is brought to you by Abby Turner Creative. Check out abbyturnerphoto.com or Instagram, Sawdad and Sapphire. Any parting words for the fan? How the Buccos?
Well, they're playing the Guardians a.k.a. the artist formerly known as the
Can't
Indians
say
in
that.
the Tribe. Can't say that. The Tribe. The artist formerly known as the Tribe. And it just started. Couple debuts tonight, so I'm excited for that because, guys, it's been hard. It's been a dark time in Pittsburgh. They started 20-8, and I'm sure you were both getting tired of me. No. Since that time...
I love a happy Wally. You never see it when it comes to sports.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Steve.
And
you're right. I am never happy either. They started 20-8, and it was amazing. They've been, since that stretch, they've gone 21-44. Brutal.
Well, that's because they lost your boy.
You're right. O'Neal Cruz is a big game changer.
I already forgot his name because
Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz has already just taken over and since
diet right version of O'Neal Cruz, but that's fine. My final thoughts were shout out to my brother Dylan. He's been a long-time listener, diehard for us, and he's getting married this next weekend. So
Dylan.
Shout out to them, to the Lukashinskis. But my other final thought has to go to you, David. We have kind of been teased with a dude's wipe version of the Browns uniform, which was a really weird ad, by the way, but we won't talk about that.
That's money for the Muni lot.
Money for the Muni lot. What are we thinking? Are we expecting it just to be the Browns helmet but white? What are we thinking? And what are our thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts. I'm ignoring it because the last time I got interested in a jersey change, it was the shade of brown change.
Pantone change.
Dude, if you watched the beginning of that, I mean, that's what they were referencing, and I was like, they're not doing this again, are they?
It'd be hilarious, actually.
Oh, my God.
If they just went back to the, their alternate is the old orange helmet.
Dude, what if they put a black helmet on?
It'd be interesting, but it would probably be terrible. Their
It'd
colors
be the Bengals. I don't even know why I just said that. I was like, it'd literally be the Bengals.
Yeah, it would.
They're already doing it.
Yeah, God, it's terrible. I don't want to be a part of it.
To you two earlier. Does this not just? It's the most full circle uniform thing of all time because Paul Brown. David, tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't Paul Brown create the Cleveland Browns, or am I an idiot for saying that?
No, I don't. I thought he.
I knew it's something like that. Browns fans are going to get mad at us.
No, I thought he started the Bengals and...
Well, he went to the Bengals after Cleveland because I know that is why that was where I was going with this. He was a Buckeyes coach until I want to say Woody Hayes, and then he became the coach of the Browns.
All right, no, he was the co-founder and first coach of the Browns, which the team was then named after him, and then he founded the Bengals after that. You're right. I thought they named the team after he left, but that's incorrect.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because many people fail to know this, but the Bengals, when they were created, didn't have their orange with the striped helmet. Paul Brown recreated the Cleveland Browns uniform, and the only difference is instead of brown, it was black, and he put the word Bengals on the side of an orange helmet. This is the perfect full circle moment because the Bengals had the coolest alternate jersey we have seen in the NFL in probably 2 decades. And not like old school is what I'm saying. And the Browns saw how much people loved it. And they're like, well, we got to jump on that too. And they're doing the same thing the Bengals did to them 50 years ago. And they are literally stealing the same thing. They're like, it'll work for us as well. And I just think that's so awesome that it's the ultimate full circle moment.
They need the all whites, dude. The all whites with just like that.
Would be hot. They'd be hot.
The numbers
on the Browns,
that like pop out. Like I thought I sent it to you guys.
Like brown numbers. Brown numbers with brown stripes?
Orange.
You think orange?
Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who you're talking to?
I know. You guys are both whores for orange. I should know better.
Yeah, that's the chancellor of orange over there.
Yeah, you guys are... we want to talk about, like, the spinning, like, gunfire. You guys are that way with the orange. Like, it's the best color.
Orange. Just different shades of
like
orange.
You're like the 1% of people in the world that think orange is the best color in the world.
I never said that. Purple's the favorite, but orange is hot.
Dude, same page. At
least you and I are right there.
Purple's my favorite, but
are we we're all purple kings?
Let's go, my kings.
What's up, bro?
We got to change the color of LOD. We got to be a purple podcast for Grimace. For Grimace's birthday.
I know, it's going to be purple and orange. It's going to be really clashy. It'll be great.
Wait, before I go.
Oh my God, are we fed after?
Did I send over that video? There's like this video on the internet that just went around. Oh, I can't wait to watch that video.
Buddy, speaking of video on the internet that just went around,
people that don't know, David's reacting. You asked.
I did.
This is the reaction.
I thought it was going to be more gory, but that's
person.
still colossally fucked up, and I am happy I watched it.
It looks like Jaws. If you've seen the movie Jaws and you've seen a shark attack in that movie, I know, but look, notice how the water turns red just like the movies. It's just like the movies. They drilled it in Jaws. I think. Who was it? That
His
was
legs
Steven
go
Spielberg.
kicking up in the air.
Dude, that looks like a...
Why are you laughing? Steven Spielberg drilled it. He did his research. He definitely fed a child to a shark to figure out how people respond to getting eaten.
The best part of this is like when people are in this.
Is there a best part?
Yeah, the best part's like this dude thinks he's like, oh, I'm getting away, dude. You're in their environment, like.
Oh, I don't even think at any point he thought he was getting away. It's just naturally. Adrenaline.
Oh my God!
I gotta swim in.
You can see the shark just put all of its power at the end. Oh Jesus!
Oh, dude, it's nasty. I saw that a month ago, and I was just like, I thought it was fake when I started watching it, because I'm like, there's no way this is on Twitter. But Elon's Twitter, you can just watch murder for free, so it's fine.
God, just the eeriness of just him going back underwater. Then you're like, oh, that's it. Okay, just like as if nothing happened.
Yeah,
No, a video I was going to say, I meant to send it to both of us, but I wanted to send it to David. There's this video of like this 18-wheeler that's going 30 miles per hour and is doing like a test, a crash test of rear-ending the back of cars. You might want to rethink the Bronco, bud.
No, that's a video game. I've seen that video. That's not real.
Nope, very real.
It's not real.
I want you to send it to me, and I'll report back.
No, dude. If you look at the buildings, it looks like Miami, dude. It's real.
Get out of here.
I love you guys. My final words is don't shit your pants, because
don't listen to Wally. Live your life. You know, the only time you never shit your pants is when you don't remember.
How about don't do a fucking stupid ass diet and wonder why you shit.
He was dehydrated.
That wasn't part of the diet. I was literally unable to eat, so I was using pickles to replenish.
Oh.
My dude was in intermediate fasting, and you're grilling him about it?
No.
He was pooping himself for the better of the culture.
Absolutely not.
That was just I was going to say, that was... Everything about that was unintentional, but it was...
That is the worst thing.
Maybe we need to get sponsored by Dude Wipes.
We need to be sponsored by Dude Wipes and Pepto-Bismol. I think both.
And Hanes underwear.
Yeah, Fruit of the Loom, baby. Love you, boys.
Oh, God.